It takes all of this that you see right here, plus 4.5 months of other shit that y'all are not seeing right now. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. It takes promo. It takes communication. It takes money, good amount of motherfucking money. It takes venues. It takes food. It takes time, effort, energy. You know what I mean? And ultimately, it takes passion and love, because this is not a very forgiving business. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to get back what you put in. It's very hard to get back what you put in.
It was never really the same after the split.
I don't know what the situation is, but it just looked like there was just certain things that were happening in the background. I could see the things that were running right, or things that were like, we're doing all this and for what?
This is me personally. I don't got any facts. I'm not an inside man. I don't know. I think there was turmoil in terms of like the circle of people who was involved in it.
From the outside looking in, I think it was people, who were all doing jobs, all making sacrifices and, giving their time to something. Do I know exactly any of it beyond that? No. And I think they did a good job of keeping that in-house,
When it comes to battle rap, there's a pretty good gauge of when a league is starting to fizzle out, right? Like, views start to decline, the audience is a little bit less, maybe the talent is just being recycled too much, like you run out of a talent pool. I didn't really see any of that necessarily happening to ETD, so it was really weird how it kind of fizzled out so quickly, because normally it's just kind of like a dragged out process, but it was almost like these events like build up higher and higher and higher, and then it was just like gone after that. But to this day, I still don't know what the fuck happened.
I actually started in the Tampa scene as a fan first, before I was even thought of as 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or anything. And I always thought it had a rich, authentic hip-hop feel. There was people like DJ Fader, DJ Terra, DJ Sandman, all played a pivotal role in running the actual scene, or the underground scene in Tampa. And I came up going to their events somewhat, and they even did an early round of battle rap stuff, Battle Basics, shout out to them.
Battle Basics was a series of battle events put on by Sandman and DJ Cramtronics. It was a tournament, a huge tournament. There was a preliminary round to where everyone had to spit a verse that would qualify you to even make it into the tournament. There would be one winner. It definitely was not the same format that battle rap is now. There was a lot of MCs. You had to have bars. You had to be nice off top. And there would only be one winner at the end of the night, and it was not up for the crowd to debate. There was a winner walking out of that club by the end of the night. There was no, this is up for debate. There was no, we're going to wait for this to hit online and see what the people think, or we're going to see how many of my friends can comment on this video and get it to a certain amount of, none of that. None. You was going to walk out of there a winner or a loser. Cause I'ma have a nice charm when I melt your chin. I can see you like the shine dirty, so I'ma have more eyes on him than the Mississippi jersey. I was a part of one of these. I definitely walked out a loser. But here was my thing with that. At the time, I wasn't getting too many shows, right? The way I looked at it was everyone got a preliminary round. everyone got a set 3 minutes, right? So what I was gonna do was use these motherfucking 3 minutes to show these people how nice it is I am.
Wait one goddamn minute. Hold on. Wait one goddamn minute. Off the press. CineFest.com. The last MC to represent on this stage right now was his Aych.
Yeah. It don't go like this. Aych, by the way. Yeah. Fuck being the world's famous, but most haters can't fade us. No competition like anybody playing the Lakers.
But yeah, that was the scene. It was Battle Basics. It was a crazy scene. It definitely inspired us. I remember us having multiple conversations as far as how we could, or creative ways to like get our music out there and things of that nature, or to create some kind of buzz in the city. One day we were sitting, myself, Moses, J. Lewis as well. We were trying to figure out what type of event could do that for us. We thought battle rap could do that for us in this city, because to my knowledge, I wasn't aware of anyone in Tampa doing battle rap in its current form, the way it was then, which is the current form still, but battle rap in the way that it was being done online, I wasn't aware of anyone in the city doing that.
I remember Addicts hitting me up saying that he was planning an event, because by that time we were like, everybody knew we were like all doing certain things, and at that time I was doing a website called Boot Slap Rap. So we were one of the sponsors for the ETDs going in. What made it different for me during that first battle was seeing the variety of people, different age groups, more women in the crowd. It was like groups of people. It was just very different. It was a lot, it hit a lot harder than I thought it was gonna hit. And people gravitated towards it a lot more than I thought they were. So it kind of like, it set the tone at that time.
It was a whole different energy than the rest of the hip hop scene. There was a real competitive feel, a real camaraderie. And right away, the first event, I was pretty much hooked.
It was addicting. The first, big league battle that I ever seen in my life was Hollow versus 𝗬𝗎. But the first battle I ever watched in my life was Deuce versus Heavy Lyrics at the ETD event, that very first event. That was the first time I've ever been in a battle rap event ever in my life. And that kind of put me onto that fever of battle rap.
I remember this being crazy, bro, because I didn't expect Deuce to be this comfortable. This is his first battle, and he does not seem to have any first-time jitters, none of that. Like, he looks like he's done this before.
I had some nerves, some fear, all that good shit, But when the battle was over, everybody in the building was kind of like, yeah, that shit was crazy, bro, you nice, yada, yada, yada. So you feel good, right? Because you write some shit, you don't know how people gonna receive it or whatever, but when people receive it and they fuck with it, it takes you to another level mentally. Like, I don't know if it's some dopamine that gets released, whatever, but it's like a drug. So I still wasn't all the way I love battle rap at this point. But the days and weeks after, on the internet, people tagging me, fucking inboxing me, all that type of shit, that reaction for the days and weeks after that event happened, it was something that I ain't never had happen before. That shit was unreal. It was, nigga, I was him after that, goddammit. You feel me? So, yeah, man, that shit was love, bro.
I got started in literally the golden era of battle rap. It's when written battles first became a thing. There was a local league ran by mosesvfilms, and it was just called Freestyle Saturdays at the Chop Shop. And, a ton of dudes would show up, and it was primarily freestyle. And then this thing started happening, and there were kind of like echoes around like, oh, there's this league that's in Orlando that's starting up. And my boy Mosh actually went and he did the first couple of battles out there, and they dropped on YouTube. They started going on World Star. I think he had the first written rap battle with like 100,000 views on YouTube. It was him versus Johnny Storm. I'm rapping, I'm white, I don't really have that many friends, and I'm getting all this love online from all these dudes that are in this league called Grind Time. These guys were all superstars to me. They were superheroes. I think I'm like 13 at this point. So I get my feet wet at the chop shop. I get like 3 or 4 battles in, and then I get hit up by Derrek, and he was like, yo, we want to throw you on a card.
Yo, what's good, Grind Time? This is your boy Derrek. We here at Redefine for another battle. You know, 09 is all about quality control. This is the last battle of 08, so we're gonna see how these cats come. On my right, Lil Farnham.
What's good, Little Farnham? 727-813, Chop Shop King, 14 years old. Let's get it.
Youngest battler on Grind Time. Youngest battler on my left.
I talked to my parents. I'm like, yo, you gotta take me to Orlando. You gotta drop me off. You can't be anywhere around, because like I'm a kid at the time. That's ammo for my opponent. And you know, I was a good kid, so they're like, you know what? You could do it. So my first battle was on Grind Time. It was against Sean Kush. I went in there and I bodied him. And I remember everybody was so impressed. And I had made a deal with my parents, like, you could battle rap, but you can't cuss. I was literally like one of the first 15, 20 guys to battle in Grind Time. And somehow I have, like, my name has been sealed in stone by doing that.
Respect for a dude with a genetic defect that makes him look like D-Rek with his teeth wet. Bless you. Hey, bless you.
After everything went down, I got all the fan love. I'm like, damn, like this might be something I gotta check out. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta see what's happening with this shit, because this is different. From there, I could tell you the exact battle. It was John versus Hitman, right? That was the very next battle that I watched after I decided I'm gonna become a fucking battle rapper. I'm gonna see what's happening with this shit. And I started diving into what the professional battle rappers was doing, how to move as a battle rapper, what's what, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that fan love was a drug, and I wanted some more of it.
I went home and I talked to my son Juju and Elias, and we started discussing battle rap. And then when the footage dropped and we watched it at home and I seen the excitement, that was it. That's when I knew, like, okay, I found something that we all like, you know what I'm saying? And it was right there. We never went to ball games, like football games, basketball games. That wasn't our thing. But battle rap was our thing. That was the one thing that we had in common that was right here at home.
We definitely seen the opportunity of creating the next event. And not only that, because that first event was so dope, you know, we put it out online and other people started seeing it. So now we started to become the new topic, the hot topic of the city.
I feel like ETD became a league the same way I became a goddamn battle rapper. Cause I know for me, after the first event happened, everybody was tweeting about it, talking about it. The internet went crazy about it. I mean, locally, shit, y'all, whoever white, y'all probably ain't know about it. But locally, it was that shit. I feel like ETD felt exactly how I felt. Like, hold on, this might be something we gotta goddamn explore. This some shit we gotta, cause all these people fucking with it the way they fucking with it can't be a fluke.
Here we go. Minute and a half. All heavy. Here we go.
So this happened. It turned out to be a very successful event. And then it turned into a bit of a need for the city to continue these events. MCs started looking for these events as an outlet to showcase their skill. Fans gravitated to it extremely and quickly. Yeah, that's what Enter the Dungeon was.
So after I had done battling for 5 or 6 years at this point, I'm 18 or 19 years old, and I just kind of stopped feeling that adrenaline rush on stage. The excitement for battles was kind of dying down in me, and I really knew that I could make incredible music, and my thought process was like, you'll watch a good battle 1 or 2 times. you listen to a great song 100 times. And I knew that mainstream success was only gonna come from music. So I kind of put the battle rap on the back burner and really started focusing on my music. I'm like cemented in battle rap culture, and I start hearing like whispers about a league in Tampa, and it's like I had always wanted that because, you know, I'm Tampa born and raised, and I was always traveling to Orlando, Miami, all these other cities. So I hear these whispers of, you know, this league called ETD. I think an event or two happened, and I was like, yo, I gotta pull up, like I gotta rep, you know, like I'm on grind time. I've been repping Tampa for the last 6 or 7 years. I put Tampa on my back, like, let's see what it's about. So I pull up to the event, and, you know, I'm like greeted with open arms. And from there on, it was just like, it made sense, you know. It was like ETD was, even though I wasn't a pioneer of it, it just felt like home to me. I was kind of fading out of battle rap myself, and I just kind of wanted to rep for the city. And I felt like by me being on camera and hosting and just kind of repping Tampa for ETD, I was kind of putting a stamp or Enter the Dungeon to all these other people in the culture who were on URL, who were on grind time, who were on King of the Dot. It's like you see a familiar face, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're official, you know? So that's kind of how my demeanor was.
We made fucking noise. Random people just, you know, oh, yo, when's the next event? When's the next event? I really don't know who these people are, but I just know they were at the event because they brought it up.
We had a recipe, right? And when we would start cooking for the crowd, like they were hungry for more. They wanted more and more and more. More people were coming after every event. Everybody's seen it as an opportunity to be something, and they can be whoever they want.
Torture y'all all gotta go through. Straight bars, no personals. I won't expose you. They won't accept them. Them lines were not Stro. That's not how it works when nobody knows you. I said septum, not Stro. That's not how it works when nobody knows you. All that
Definitely a highlight was when Deuce and Conceited faced off in 𝗊𝗺.
𝗊𝗺 City. I will never forget that.
I just remember this event being super hyped up. I remember Conceited was coming in. You know, I've known Khan for a long time, and I had never known Khan to go to a smaller league. So for me, I was like, whoa, like, this is huge for the league. It's huge for the city. It's huge for Deuce, because that's who he was battling. And I remember we're at the venue, and I like the setup, but I'm like kind of noticing the people at the venue are kind of like giving Annex a hard time.
He's basically packed that event out for that venue. And apparently a deal was made with the owner of the venue, and the owner of the venue actually saw how much people was actually coming. I don't think he expected that many people to be in the venue, so he started wanting more money.
To which we were not gonna agree to, and we didn't.
Basically, we were getting kicked out of the event.
What the fuck is going on? Like, we got Conceited here. Like, I know money was put into this event, so immediately I go into like problem-solving mode, and I'm like, all right, we're in fucking 𝗊𝗺 right now. It's a Friday or a Saturday night. Shit's packed out. I had just went to a grind time event that they held at this bar that was like 2 blocks over, and I got cool with the owner when I was there and his wife, and I remember thinking like, I know they have like a little open mic situation, but let me just go holler and see if I can fucking save this thing. I want to say it was in the middle of the summer when this shit happened, because I remember running there just sweating my fucking ass off. I get in there, I ask for the owner, and I'm like, hey, yo, do you remember me? I was at that rap battle event here a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, listen, it's dead in here right now. You got 6 people at your bar. I said, I got an event down the street with 250 people and a bunch of performers. You got a stage, you got a bar, there's an empty venue here. I'll fill this fucking thing up right now if you'll let us battle here and film. And she was like, are you serious? I was like, I'll do it right now. You got to let me know right now, though, because people are leaving. She's like, run it.
So we moved as a fucking mob from one venue, walking to a whole nother venue. And it was like a artist, some major artist that was performing that night. And he like was in the same area, and we probably sold more fucking tickets and more fucking packed out the house better than he did.
My ass had to carry a heavy ass DJ set from one event to another. I ain't got no car. I'm talking about I'm walking on 𝗊𝗺 Strip with a freaking heavy ass DJ set. Luckily, I got an entire freaking mob of people behind me following me to the event. So I felt safe in Ybor with my DJ set. No case, nothing like that.
The whole venue, everybody attending, everybody packed up, and we just, there's a whole convoy or caravan down 7th Ave.
Now, at any other battle league or any other event for that matter, this might be a major issue. Getting kicked out of your venue when you're already a portion of the way into the event. The chances of finding another venue and not only finding another venue, but having your entire fan base follow you to that venue and continue the event. But that's exactly what happened. We got kicked out of this venue. We scrambled to try to figure out what to do, and we continued and finished a successful event.
It was the only thing going on like it at the time, and it wasn't just that, but it was the curation of the artist. The actual battlers that battled were dope. Now you had your guys that weren't all that great, you know what I'm saying, in the battle as well. But a lot of the guys that were good were very good.
Well, my first time considering battle rap was because I did a competition out in Chicago. And so it was called a Hot 16 Bar Challenge. And, several rappers around the country were trying to get into this 10-man bracket, 10-man tournament in Chicago. So I wrote a verse down and I submitted it. Out of 100 submissions, I was actually one of the finalists to go to Chicago. Long story short, I ended up winning the tournament. My first time ever doing something like that. But one of the judges at the time was Jin.
You wanna say I'm Chinese, Sonny? Here's a reminder. Check your tips, they probably say made in China.
Everybody was coming kind of from with a faith perspective that day. But something about his intensity and also the content of what he was spitting, I was like, that you can translate this into this platform. I said to him, I was like, yo, if you ever think about battling, and you can fit it into your beliefs without compromising, I think you could really thrive in that.
After that, I went home and I said, man, you know what? I just want to try it. He put the battery in my bag. I was like, I just want to try it. I don't want to go to New York and try to try it, nothing like that. So I ended up putting it on Facebook and I said, yo, are there any local leagues in Tampa that are doing any tryouts? I would like to just go ahead and, do a battle. And somebody had tagged Annex. And when they tagged Annex on it, he had wrote me, he said, hey, I see that you want to do a tryout. I know you don't have any battles, but do you have any footage of you rapping? Not that you need any footage, I just want to know if you have any footage. I said, okay. So I ended up sending him a YouTube video that I had recorded of me just sitting on the couch and I was rapping for 10 minutes. So I sent it and 30 minutes later, Annex writes back, where the hell have you been at?
Just because I don't got no battles, I don't think that works against me. I think, I've been on big stages with a bunch of people in the crowd. I think for me, my flow is polished, bars is up there. That's what he has to worry about. So I think for my thing is I want to come in there, jump straight from the gun, let them know hey, this dude is for real. This dude can hang with us and
So when it comes to battle rap, at the end of the day, you got to stand out. That's just what it is. Loso, he had the religion angle, he had the Christianity angle, he didn't cuss, he did the bars about God and the Bible, and it was completely different than anything that was going on in Tampa, in Orlando, in Miami. It was kind of one of the first of its kind. Did it come off gimmicky? I'm sure it did in the beginning, but guess what? When you're a pioneer of something, people are always gonna look at you crazy until you get stamped, and that motherfucker got stamped.
Writing me like Los, I'm just curious to see what angle you coming from. I mean, it's usually gun bars. How you plan on stopping them? Well, it's simple, he's fake. Watch me take money to the light just to show y'all he's counterfeit. But your boy, listen, but Righteous responded like, yeah, we don't really shoot guns, and some ain't really hood. I guess we just talking about stuff we would do if we really could.
Anybody who's watched my stuff knows that, I probably wasn't, I'm not going to use sexual innuendos. I'm not going to be talking about, certain things that maybe the average battle rapper would have no filter about. But for me, I just didn't need that. I was just like, bump it. I'm going to just there's certain parameters that I put up for myself, not because I felt like it was wrong, just personally, my personal convictions, in which when I was on stage performing, I wanted this to be how I won the battle. And that's been the same course that I've been on since 2015.
That's another name we were able to help curate, and get to that next level. Growth for any league in the country, I feel, has to start the same way. And the way a league grows is by getting your MCs to that next level, by becoming the league that up and coming MCs can look at and say, this is the league that can get me to that next level. This is the league that can get me to KOTD. This is the league that can get me to RBE. They have the connections I need. This is how, in my opinion, a small league becomes successful. If that's what you love to do, and you want to do it with very rarely any monetary gain, then it's for you. But it can be extremely hard for a league to get to a sustainable level. Besides us trying to help MCs get to that next level, there really was no end game.
I don't think you get enough credit, and I ain't here to stress you now. I just know it must upset you to the core when you co-sign a rapper, send them to another league, and then they let you down. What happened? What happened when you went to spit that heat, Fred? You were supposed to rep ETD on a stage bigger than you already used. Instead, you battle Young Urban. He set you back looking sicker than you already do.
I don't get me wrong. There's great leagues that have came out of Tampa. There's great leagues that are probably still doing events in Tampa. But it's just never gonna have the aura or the kind of feel that ETD ended up creating at that time. Unfortunately, today, whenever you go to a Tampa battle event, you're fighting against the feel of like, okay, you're looking around the room, you're like, oh, the reason why we have people in here is because they're battlers and they're about to battle, and then they have their plus ones. In ETD, I remember the room, the Pegasus Lounge being filled because people were genuinely coming to see, and it was like, yo, I remember these storylines happening on Facebook and then going back and forth for this, and the trailer being put out, and I want to come out. And it was the first time for me too that the quality matched that of its competitors. I mean, I to this day, I remember the slow-mo trailer that Freddy's and Loso had dropping on Christmas Day. It was like, yo, this feels like SMAC. This looks like, this has that feel. Like, even when we were battling that day, to me, it hadn't been mimicked yet in no other Tampa league where I was standing on stage, the entourages were on stage, there was people in the crowd. I mean, the quality that we were putting out, not just with content, but also the production, was second to none. I don't know if that's been done to that level yet, and if it has, my mistake. But to me, that's what's gonna set ETD apart for forever. That from all the other leagues that come into Tampa. People wanted ETD to be a moving train and not knowing like, hey, we're still laying the tracks down to this. So when you look to the left and you see Spit That Heat doing this, and you look to the right and you see URL or RBE doing this, you start looking at them and you're like, okay, well, why are we doing this? And sometimes it's just like, yo, well, we don't have the personnel yet and we don't have the capital, but maybe if we all just get together and just sit in a room and say, okay, this is what we could do. This is the goal. We can make Tampa a hub where they have to come here and battle our guys and do this. And we've never had that conversation.
We did get to the point to where ETD was making some money. With this money, we would do things like purchase the physical tickets that we used at every event, camera equipment, just things we needed, overhead, pretty much. Now we're worried about overhead. We're worried about, how are we gonna pay for this camera piece that we need? How are we gonna pay for this venue that we need? This person's charging us a little something, and now we feel like we have the responsibility of keeping this going. You know what I mean? And for me, it felt like that responsibility was heavier because I was the face of it, because I was the one answering these people in public, and because, you know what I mean? Like, that responsibility felt heavier for me, so it automatically felt like if this goes down, I'm going to be the first one to go down with it. You know what I mean? So I think after a while that started to set in a little bit.
In the beginning, I mean, everything was fucking great. You know, everything was running smooth, but once the money started coming in, that's when shit started getting a little bit shaky. You kind of feel when something's kind of like not slipping away, but it started to like fade away.
We got to a couple points in life to where things happened, and we could have made the decision to try and use this money to help ourselves out of our financial mind. We chose otherwise. You know, we decided to put ETD first, and that's what we did. You know, it got tough sometimes, but you know, that's what we did. Jay Lewis found himself in a similar position, but he felt a little differently. He felt that he had the right to this money that he needed. We did have a meeting about it, to which I was voted out pretty much, and I lost that decision. That to me was that was the start of it. It felt like a slap in the face. Let me backtrack, because it didn't feel like a full slap in the face yet. It felt like a half slap. I'll tell you when it felt like a full slap. At this meeting, Jay Lewis was supposed to pick up the slack with the booking and just helping out in general. But at that meeting, we did come to the agreement that it was going to be the booking that he was going to be helping out with. He then worked for 2 weeks and quit. In all honesty, if we're being honest, and if we even had to extend the duties to one more person, that person would be York.
I enjoyed doing it, but at the end of the day, you know, you want to get paid. I mean, if there's bread being made, you know, I also want to cut too, because, you know, I'm the DJ. I'm actually working at the event. DJing was my only income. So, you know, everybody got bills to pay, you know. I made some bread. I don't remember exactly how much, because that's one thing that, I mean, I should have been a little bit business smart back then, but I didn't have like a certain percentage. I kind of just took whatever was handed to me at that time. There was one event where all the money that we made at the door just disappeared.
This is where I fucked up, because honestly, I don't even know if... No, I did. I fucked up. The problem is I felt justified in why I did what I did, and in some ways I kind of still feel justified. What did I do? I stole money from ETD. It was one event, and this was the event prior to me calling Moses and saying, okay, we got to make a decision on what we're going to do with ETD. When I did this, I didn't feel like I was fully wrong. So I knew that in my head, this was probably going to happen again, because I felt justified in that decision. I didn't feel I was wrong. You know what I mean? I felt like, shit, I was doing the work anyway, and, you know, someone can just, you know, come through and make a decision like this, and it's out of my hands. So I was very bitter at that, and I felt justified. So what I do, I call up Moses, and you know, I let him know that one of us has to run with ETD. I kind of gave him the choice on whether, you know, he wanted to run with it or he wanted me to run with it. That's what I felt I needed to do, because if I didn't do that, I was probably going to end up pocketing money again.
Mixing friends with business creates uncomfortable situations, because those difficult conversations can kill the trust.
It felt like Aych is the one being voted out for whatever reason. Honestly, the reason to me did not matter. Could have been left or right, you know what I mean? The reason to me didn't matter. What mattered to me was that we didn't make the same decision to take the bread and bail ourselves out. And that's how things played out. So while I felt justified and I felt like I wasn't wrong for doing what I did, it definitely was wrong. And that kind of didn't make me no better than what J. Lewis did prior.
You know, I started to back away a little bit.
From the outside looking in, I think it was people, you know, who were all doing jobs, all making sacrifices and, you know, giving their time to something, probably wanting to be compensated, and everybody wanting to be involved and feel a piece of something. That's my opinion from the outside, is how it appeared. Do I know exactly any of it beyond that? No. And I think they did a good job of keeping that in-house. You know.
We did do quite a number of events after the split. I had other folks come in to help with booking the battles. One person in particular was Blyke.
I wanted ETD to be great just because the love that we got when we went to these events was like nothing that we ever been through before, you know what I'm saying? So that was the whole reason behind it. It was never business. I felt that because ET had that core group of people that built it, that started it, you know what I'm saying? It was a very small circle, but I didn't know that, you know, because I'm on the outside looking in. I'm just looking at it from a fan point of view, like, yo, if I could do anything to help, I will. That's just the type of dude that I am, you know what I'm saying? So right after the Hollow event, our name buzzing. I shit already buzzing in the battle rap community here in Florida. So somebody reached out to me from Trap House, New York, and I guess at the time they were sponsored by Smack or whatever, by URL. And I remember reaching out, you know what I'm saying, and it wasn't received, I guess, the way I wanted to be received. At the time, I'm just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, bring the nigga Hollow, niggas jump on the book, and they making it like trying to take Annie Shine or Grandstand. Fine. I get the Trap House cosign, I reach out, I feel the same kind of way. Sometimes you misread shit, you know what I'm saying? Or you'll take a person's action as a slight when it's really not the case. But I didn't feel like I was getting that reception. So I might have took it the wrong way. I did take it the wrong way.
As far as them being a competitor, no, that's not even something I was necessarily worried about. I kind of took it personal that someone that was, you know, supposedly for the betterment and the growth of ETD, even trying to become a competitor to ETD with a group of guys that were ETD. You know, in my eyes, I didn't see where that benefited Enter the Dungeon at all.
What would you respond to someone saying like, most of the people that you took were already on ETD, so it just maybe rubbed people the wrong way that they had to come talk to you about people.
Oh, I ain't take. Hold on, Mo.
No, I'm asking. Correct me.
No, I ain't take. No, I guess it's the way I promo. Like, I was on a hell of a blitz, bro. I was crazy with the promo. Crazy, man. I was doing I was all over the place, man. I was on radio shows. I was doing this. Bunch of shit. Dudes they just fuck with me, bro. They just like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? And then they just started meeting me at events, and we was clicking, and we went from there. But I never tried to nah, it wasn't my take. But then again, it got to that point where, you know what I'm saying, it looked like that because of maybe my actions and the way I was. You feel me? Like with that arrogance at that time. I got all the stars on my team. So you gotta come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Alex, you gotta come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? You want the niggas to battle, you gotta come holler. I felt like the event changed the course of the history between me and Alex, in a sense. And I feel like it didn't let us like blink like we should have.
ETD never really got its feet under it again to the days of, you know, when we first started ETD 1, 2, and 3. Those were our haymakers right there. I honestly felt like it was over the last few events, you know, just after each event, I would just, you know, go home and say to myself, yeah, I don't think I'm doing this anymore, you know. And then, you know, someone would come around and convince me that no, it's not over. We can put on a fire event, and I would try it again, you know. But honestly, for me, ETD never got back to what it was.
I was hurt because of what ETD was that I knew. You know what I'm saying? I knew ETD to be that thing that made me say I'm gonna be a battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, yeah, I moved on in my career. I got bigger shit popping, but you know what I'm saying? Like this right here was something special. So it wasn't me. I wasn't hurt because Annex didn't. I was just hurt because it meant something to me, because it was the foundation of my career.
What was special about Enter the Dungeon is it was HQ for Tampa battle rap, right? So it was like everybody that came in the very beginning was still around at the end, even if their talent level wasn't up here. And the truth is, with battle rap, is you want to watch good battles. You want to watch really talented people go against other really talented people. And if it were me in the future, I would focus more on creating better battles. And it's tough because you have to weigh that like loyalty aspect, right? It's like, well, all these guys were around battling for free in the beginning, so I got to show love now. But if I want this league to be successful and garnish a lot of attention and buzz, then I kind of got to push them to the side and bring other talent in.
I think it created people that change things. You know, sometimes we try to build a brand that makes a change, but really it's not the brand that matters. It's what the brand created, what the result, the fruits of it per se are, right? So I think some of the artists that came out of it, like the Losos, like the Deuces, I think the editing on the videos, some people did learn some stuff and start tuning up their shit when they saw ETD dropping theirs. You know what I'm saying? There was some of that.
That impact was undeniable, bro. Even after the conceded battle, it caught the rest of the culture's attention. Like, people outside of Florida started to notice what ETD was. I was having niggas from other cities, other states, calling me out to come battle on ETD.
For them to just do something, you know what I'm saying, to get out of the streets, take out that anger out on something else. It was pretty cool, man.
Would it have been bigger than URL or RBE? You know, I'm not saying that. If ETD was still here today, moving in the same trajectory that it started on, you would be talking about the top leagues in the world being URL, KOTD, RBE, and Enter the Dungeon.
When I was on stage, I felt good. I felt great. You know what I'm saying? Everyone looking at us. We had these two competitive individuals there. They were bringing their grandmas out there. If you see ETD, you can see a grandma. I don't know whose grandmoms was there.
My grandmother came to that first battle, and she's Colombian, and so to calm me down, she gave me a shot of aguardiente. And so I took the shot, bro, and so it had calmed me down. And so that's kind of been my like routine before I ever get on stage. Now I kind of do that. But I think ETD is going to be remembered as the staple of battle rap, at least for me.
Could ETD last today? There's an abundance of battle rap now, and you can definitely take your pick of styles and dialects that you can choose from in battle rap, and you can have your pick. So it's not as special nowadays.
Do you have one more event in you?
Oh, we might have to wait and see on that.
Hey, Tampa, make some fucking noise!
No, I ain't no TD Jakes or nothing like that. I'm just saying. Look, appreciate that you alive, some people ain't. Thank the fact that you can walk, some people can't. Be who you are and only change for better. Never let the bread be the only reason you get up. Stand for something through any dirt they dig up. Never let the mirror see a rich bitch nigga. Treat a hoe like the quality she projects you. But treat your woman like the queen you standing next to. Wake up and do what's needed if you really got a dream. Turn your dream into a vision and relay it through a team. And knowledge gives you the power to create a better choice. So learn, don't be the dummy that falls in love with his voice. So if you hear me drop a jam, in case it don't happen again. Now I ain't preaching, I'm just saying. Now I ain't preaching, I'm just saying. Cause I ain't never, I had to learn to never too late to, never too late to. Cause I ain't never, I had to learn to never too late to, never too late to. Don't be a boy, be a man. Don't be a dad, be a father. Be a son, stay away from the opposite end of karma. Be a man of principle, admit when you're wrong. Be confident, but don't ever consider yourself invincible. Never judge, never lose who you are. You put yourself in other shoes, remember to take them off. Be self-driven if you're doing what you love, but understand that even the best of us benefit from a shove. Pave a better path if your struggle is the streets, cause what you do when you